Hello, fellow Ambazonians, fellow people of the Southern Cameroon territory. Just waking up with gruesome images that is coming from Muyuka, and we are trying to get our commander in that area to establish what is going on. But we are definitely very disturbed about a video that have emerged in social media from Moyoka that have shown the gruesome killing of a lady, and the information we are getting is that the lady was killed because of suspicion that she was a spy or a blackleg providing information on intelligence to the La Republique du Cameroon terrorist occupation forces in Ambazonia. So I'm going to address that issue right now. But the soldier definitely is not our soldier. We have some information about who that soldier is, and because we need to take our due diligence to establish the fact, we will not release the name of the person we believe is the soldier, but we definitely uh, condemn that particular action, and I'm going to explain what is happening, and I'm also going to put our statement. But the ADF will put an official statement out very soon. Our Secretary General is crafting out an official position statement by the Ambazonian Defense Forces on this case. So the case in question, I'm going to play the video of the case in question so our people can understand exactly what is going on. Once more, good morning, everybody. Ambazonia at home and abroad. Today is the 20th. Today is the 12th day of this month. My name is Capo Daniel, the Deputy Defense Chief of the Ambazonia Defense Forces in the Savannah State. So we have had this disturbing video that is on social media, and we have established preliminary who is the person who is involved. And this is not our soldier. This soldier do not represent the ADF. It is not a soldier we have partnered with, and we have to make things very clear to the Ambazonian people. The war against the war against blacklegs, spies, and in the Republic du Cameroon is on, but we must be very clear about what we are doing, what we are taking responsibility of, the instructions our forces have, our code of conduct. Definitely, we have to take responsibility of that, and to speak clearly to the Amazonian people of this particular incident so that everybody should be on the same page. This is a very serious matter when you deal with the life of people, even in a case of war. You have to take the responsibility very seriously. It's not a joking matter, and we have to protect our people. We have to defend our people. We don't have to lose who we are as individuals, as human beings. So this is a video in question. I'm going to be very brief. This is the video in question. It's coming from we understand it's coming from Muyuka. At this time, I must say that our assessment is preliminary because the facts are still to be established, but we have some indications. So my presentation today is based on the initial observation of our experts and our team, mainly out of the country. Our commander on the ground have also made some preliminary statements, but we have not yet gone on site. We have not yet interviewed witnesses. We have not yet spoken to the people we suspect are involved. So these are just preliminary information I'm giving you. These are just information based on our initial reaction from seeing that video, and from the initial reaction of our commander, which have also seen the video and they have given us this report. So I have to come to you today to give you this report. This is a video in question. So we have seen this video. It's a very gruesome video of the execution of a young lady in, we understand it's in Muyuka. That is the initial assessment from looking the environment our intelligence officers have settled that this incident took place in Muyuka. We have also have a meeting, a brief meeting in our war council with the top officials, not the entire council. The Dr. Chua Yaba was not there, the commander in chief, but our defense chief, our secretary general, some other high officials, including DDCA, and some of our staff members were also in that meeting. So from what we have already gathered, it shows that this incident took place in Muyuka. We understand that the soldier is associated, is a soldier of they call themselves the restoration forces of the Sako camp, the splinter group of the IG. This is from our initial information that we have. It shows that this soldier is from their camp. So we have to make certain statements because there are actions that are committed on the ground by other people that have ramification on the entire revolution. And in some cases, we have to come out and make clarification even when we are not involved. So this type of action is terrible, is gruesome. And I must state clearly that we of the Ambazonian Defense Forces and all the forces that partners with us, we condemn extrajudicial killing. We do not conduct extrajudicial killing. When any member of our force involved in such actions, that member is condemned and that member is withdrawn from our forces. They are sanctioned. If any member that is associated or partnering with our forces, our sister forces, be it at the preliminary level, or we actually have a memorandum of understanding with those forces. In such case, if such a thing will happen, we are going to dissociate that person from ourselves. We are going to cut off relationship with that person. Our policy when it comes to blackleg or spies or La République du Cameroon informant, our policy is that people, the commander on the ground, must have established, not just by himself, but within 2 or 3 other commanders, the facts of that person being a spy or a blackleg. It must be established. There is a procedure in place. When we train our soldiers, we explain this procedure to them, and they are under oath to work by our code of conduct and this procedure. So there is a procedure in place for all commanders in case of spies, informant, or people working with La République to establish and prove and substantiate the claims that they are making that this person is a spy. So you cannot take action without establishing if the person is a spy. Even when you establish that that person is a spy, you cannot execute that person. The only instances where people who are spy, informant, or blacklegs are being executed are in instances where there are proof, substantial proof, and evidence that that person have actually led to the death of an Ambazonian fighter or a civilian. Then that person will be executed. This is in line with the Geneva Convention. This is in line with the Liber Code, which is an instrument of the Geneva Convention on how to deal with spies and informants who are working for La République du Cameroon. But in cases where there is no evidence that that person have actually spied and caused and provide information to the Cameroon military, the occupation forces, that have led to the death of our civilian or our forces. In that case where there is lack of evidence or lack of substantial proof or eyewitnesses, that person is usually banned. If it is somebody that have been established that he's a spy or a blackleg, that person will be banned from Ambazonia. He will be driven away from the community, preferably to out of that territory. That is our procedure. And in case where it is just suspicion, no action is permitted. So if somebody is suspected of being a blackleg, a spy, an informant, just suspicion, no action should be taken no action is taken by our forces. These are the established mode of conduct of our forces. These are the established conduct, our code, which are also reflected by the Geneva Convention and our traditional rules of war. So, no action should ever be taken against any civilian or anybody just on the basis of suspicion. So just because you suspect somebody does not mean that you should condemn that person, does not mean that you should take action against that person. I will repeat again. In cases of blackleg, there are three cases. A case where it has been proven that that person have actually committed or have actually participated in actions by La République du Cameroon that have taken away life, be it our soldiers or our civilian. In that case, that spy that have been proven to have provided information, intelligence, who is called a blackleg or a spy or an informant, if that person have provided information, somebody is asking me to block. I'll do the blocking later. I'll delete the comments later as well. So if a person is suspected of being a blackleg, there are procedures that are being followed by our forces and our partner forces. In case a person is suspected of being a blackleg, just suspicion, no action should be taken, no action will be taken against that individual. In a case where it has been established, not only by the commander on the ground, our procedure clearly states, and we have informed all of our commanders that there must be 2 or 3 other commanders to confirm the information that a commander have established that that person is a blackleg, a spy, informant, working in collaboration with the Cameroon military, and that their action have directly led to the death of civilian or our forces. If it has been established between 2 or 3 commanders, then that person will be executed. If there is no evidence that can prove or substantiate allegation that that person have actually caused the death of somebody, but if that person is a spy, that means if a person is a spy and is an informant or a blackleg and has not caused the death of anybody, that person, that spy, will be banished from the land. That is our conduct. That's our mode of conduct. That is what we instruct our soldiers. That is what our soldiers are being trained to do. In case a person is just a suspect, there should be no action whatsoever against that person. Nobody should be targeted. No action should be taken to somebody just because that person is a suspect. So that is our code of conduct. But this case, obviously, we don't know what happened. We don't know what this girl have done. The video is gruesome. We condemn and we frown on extrajudicial killing. We have phased out our soldiers from using den gun. We are almost completing the process of phasing out our soldiers from using den gun. And our soldiers do not carry machete. They don't carry machetes. They don't carry cutlass. So from our observation in this video and the initial information we are having is that this soldier in Muyuka is a soldier under the soldiers that call themselves the Restoration Forces. We have the name of the person, the soldier we suspect is involved, and the name of the soldier belongs to the camp of the splinter group of the IG. So I will leave it at there. We cannot release that name now because we still need to establish certain things. So they have to take the responsibility of their forces and explain to the people what is happening. For the purpose of me speaking as an activist, I would definitely say that our people have to understand this. There are 2 actors in this movement. There are those splinter groups who are traitors working for La République du Cameroon, who can deliberately carry out sabotage action and gruesome actions like this. There are the Cameroon military themselves and their own forces, the Atangandi poor boys, as we call them, who are out there trying to carry out gruesome actions to label it on our soldiers. There is also a third group of people that we have not really expatiated on, which is the civilians, who are also subject to actions committed by blacklegs and spies. In the case of Bambili and Bambui, we have had the entire community go up to attack people that they suspect as spies. We have even have community coming to us to ask us to take actions against spies, because these spies, these informants, these blackleg are pointing out the homes not just of soldiers but of family members, and pointing out communities where soldiers are coming from. And these communities are being collectively punished by the Cameroon military. We have had instances where entire family have been wiped out because their son or their daughter is an amber boy. So we also have the community that are reacting to these incidents, and sometimes my institute might tend to mob justice against such actions by spies and informants. So these are three different challenges that we face on the ground. But in any case, in the case of this lady, we definitely condemn that gruesome killing. It doesn't look right. Nobody should be killed in any way. Even if you look at the case of Treasure in Bamenda, you could see that the person who actually released that video is a force that came from the Atlantic state that came to grounds to the Savannah states there, and they were the commander in our commanders usually will follow our procedure to establish beyond reasonable doubt, not just the commander on the ground, but with other commanders. It should involve other commanders to establish that that person is a blackleg that committed, that have provided information to the Cameroon military that have actually led to the death of individuals. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have clearly addressed that issue. This is war, and unfortunately, these type of things will happen even when you control them or when you don't control them. But we have to be very responsible and play a positive role to make sure that no innocent civilian becomes a victim of war unjustly, especially when we can take action to prevent it. And we want to call on the the splinter group of the IG to come out and take responsibility of their action. They have to be held responsibility. We will never be blanketly condemned by actions of these people who are working with the Cameroon government, collaborating at the level of the HD and at the level of ground zero. They are people who have been paid by the Cameroon government. We saw Bandam, we have witness of Bandam paying money to these people. We have evidence that even Frundi have been used to give money to these people to use them. We have evidence that the bilingualism committee of Peter Mafani Musonge have been paying money to these people. We have many evidence that the elite, even in the case of we, have been paying money from Douala, transferring money to these people. We have evidence that there are this group of people of the splinter group of the IG that are traitors and they are working with the Cameroon military. These people are deliberately carrying out actions. If you look at the situation in Bui, we have had public execution by these people of more than 20 people and counting. And we have seen the same actions being carried out by individuals in the plantations of CDC that are working with the Cameroon military, deliberately carrying out actions to tarnish the entire revolution and the entire struggle. We have also seen kidnapping for ransom being carried out by people who are being paid by the Cameroon military as anti-revolutionary, anti-counter-revolutionary activities to tarnish the entire revolution. We condemn those actions. We dissociate ourselves with those actions. Those actions do not represent the conduct of our war of liberation. And I have that said, I would want to just take time to highlight. I don't know if it is the right time because we are all in shock. We are all in shock with a lady being killed in that manner without any, we don't know what is happening from in that case. They have to come out and clarify what the to the people what is happening. But we frown at extrajudicial killing. We condemn any extrajudicial killing, and we insist that every group that is legitimate should have a procedure like we have in place in dealing with issues like that. There must be a procedure, there must be accountability on these issues. So that said, I will say in Bamenda, we have seen our people in Bamenda, they have acted very well. I want to still repeat, in there are certain checkpoints that the Cameroon military have set up around Bamenda, harassing our people that we have to, that we are targeting. And I want to still lay out those places because we are going to use, we don't want that people should, let me block this infiltrator. Yes, SG. Yes. Okay, sir. Okay, I'm online actually right now while talking to you. So I've been informed by our SG that a formal statement will be put out tomorrow, not today, because our commanders on the field have requested to do something about that. So they expect an official statement from the ADF tomorrow. But for now, this is what we have presented as I've put to you. 100%. It reflects our conversation in the War Council and it reflects our conduct on the ground. Hello, you're on speaker. Yeah, God bless you, bro.
Yes, this is. Do you want to talk something concerning this lady? We'll get conflicting story to say from Muyuka, what happened from the other side. Now say this lady caught a man in Denise during the day after the man don't tell he say he go marry second woman. So after the man tell he then use knife cut the money last. As the man cry now, people they come take the man go hospital. Now the man narrate the story. And if you forward you the money picture with the penis, then now certainly the money people they follow go after they kill the woman. But we don't know which of the story they be accurate. So I just make a call, maybe you hear to that position. So I know they make send you the picture with the man penis and the man with the hospital.
Yeah, I beg send them for me. If you send a seven now, I'll take a look. Okay, thank you very much, my brother.
Since they don't address them publicly.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
The Lord knows.
Shalom. Yeah, so we are having, this is another information that it was an issue where somebody's penis were cut and whatever happened. But in any case, we condemn extrajudicial killing, and we have reiterated our position that for any action to be taken against somebody, it should not just be based on suspicion. There should be actually a proof, a substantiated proof that that individual have committed an act of spy. And we also call on our population who may be under duress to reach out to us to be rescued and be extracted from situation like that, because we also know that the Cameroon military forces people to do things against their will, and that is why we have a procedure in place. So we call on our population who may be in a situation where they are being forced or being coerced or being intimidated or being blackmailed by the Cameroon military to act as informant against their will, to reach out for us for extraction. But it should be very, very clear. We condemn extrajudicial killing. We have phased out our soldiers using den gun. Our soldiers do not carry machete. The gruesome image we are seeing coming out from Muyuka, we condemn it. From the initial information we are having, now we are getting other information that it is a case of a woman being targeted because she cut the husband penis. We don't know about that, but the initial reaction we are having from our commanders on the ground that that action was linked to the splinter group of the IG. They call themselves the Restoration Forces. It has not yet been established. A formal statement will be put out tomorrow by the Secretary General of the Ambazonia Defense Forces. But we have a procedure in place. Our procedure clearly states that for any case of spy, blackleg, or informant working for the Cameroon military, the commander must establish between two or more commanders that that person have engaged in spying activity or blacklegging or is an informant to the Cameroon military. And for any action to be taken, one, that they must substantiate the accusation against that individual and prove that that person have actually provided information that have led to the death of a soldier or a civilian before that person can be executed. Even if that person have provided information to the Cameroon military, if it has not led to the death of anybody, our procedure is for that person to be banished from the community. And if a person is only a spy, nothing will be done to that person. So we insist on our commanders to follow that procedure, and they are following that procedure. Every time they go through training, every time we recruit people, we give them our manual, we train them and make sure they understand before they take their oath to follow our instruction. Where there are excesses or people who act out of our code of conduct, we sanction them immediately. We have seen even in the situation in Bambili where a human rights worker was arrested, we actually dismissed the soldier and we made it public. We were very transparent about that. So we take full responsibility of our action. But the population have to also understand that there are other actors. There are traitors who have received money from the Cameroon military to carry out atrocity against our population for the purpose of sabotaging our struggle to turn the population against our struggle. And these actions are being sponsored and teleguided and influenced, sometimes instigated by Cameroon government and sometimes their agents, not just the military. We have seen instances where Mbandam are providing money, where Frundi is providing money, where money is being transferred to the Bui warriors from Douala, from CPT and Central Committee members. We have seen where Cameroon military men, like the other cases, there are so many cases that we have proof that these traitors who are working under Sako, Chris Anu, are working with the Cameroon government to carry out anti-Ambazonian revolutionary actions to destroy the struggle. They do that purposefully. We have seen in Bui, the Bui warriors have killed more than 20 people, the public execution. We have seen it many places. We have seen the dismemberment of hands in Tico, CDC area and all those places. We condemn all those actions. There are also instances where our population have risen up against spies who have pointed out the house of family members or community that have boys who are serving in the Amazonian forces, and those houses have been destroyed and people killed, entire family being killed, and the population risen up against those blackleg like in Bambili. So we have seen instances like that, but we insist that due process must be followed. We are gentlemen, we are Southern Cameroonians, for goodness sake. There should be no extrajudicial killing. We condemn any extrajudicial killing. And so whether it is an action of traitors and their actors on the ground, whether it's a case of the population rising up to do mob justice against somebody who have committed spy or blacklegism, whether it's an action of the Cameroon military carrying out their covert action, we dissociate ourselves and we condemn it. Our soldiers work with the code of conduct that we have provided for them, and that is what we stand for. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Concerning the other issues, I think we'll handle later. God bless you. Have a good day. Stay strong. And we also call on our people to remain vigilant. We have to fight for our freedom. This is war, and it's unfortunate that Paul Biya have declared war and brought this war upon us. War have a lot of bad things going on. We will try and take our responsibility to protect our population and our revolution, to be the vanguard and make sure we fight this thing through. God bless you.